Hello and hi. Wow, it has been months, hasn't it? Anyways, so how are you? How's life? Good? That's good. So, this video essay is basically me spiraling into literally analysis mode over the new Black Butler season 5 outro. It's specifically an in-depth breakdown of something I've already covered about on Tumblr. By the way, the link to the original post is in the description if you want to read it or reread it. But I wanted to take what I said on that post a little bit further because overall, I feel like there's something that's important to say here because that's something I think keeps getting flattened by, I'll just call it Delulu shipper discourse. To the people who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. This outro isn't tended to be Sebastiel bait. It isn't soft and temper. It isn't shipper fan service. The outro is specifically meant to be a visual deconstruction of CL's pain and trauma and the survival he has to go through to maintain his image of power. So sit back, maybe grab some tea or water or whatever beverage you like. And let's just really dive into this and stuff. We open with the haunting image. CL and Sebastian in a cage. Mid-waltz. The animation is stunning and the move is heavy. And immediately most people that I've seen when I'm just scrolling through posts is just their ship is canon and that this interaction's romantic, and I'm just, no, stop, that's a child. So just, the people who just dislike hearing all of, this type of stuff, just take a breath, and let's just put our thinking caps for a moment, and look at this moment more deeper. This isn't a romantic dance. It's a prison, a performance. The scene is entirely a metaphor, a visual poetic expression of the contract that binds CL and Sebastian. So let's break down what we're actually seeing. CL's limp in Sebastian's arms. He's not leading the dance. He's not even dancing with agency. He's dangling like a doll, like someone who has the strings pulled from them and now needs someone else to keep them from clasping. That's not love. Not platonic love, or hell, not even romantic. It's dependence. The cage that they're in is literally and symbolic that CL is trapped with his contract with Sebastian, trapped by his need for revenge, and trapped on his trauma. And here's the kicker. The physical distance between them, even though Sebastian is holding him up, there's still this cold space in between them. They don't look at each other. CL's expression is solemn, and it looks hollow. He's looking away from Sebastian. That's intentional by the animators, showing us there's a lack of connection. There's no intimacy. It's just, what their whole dynamic is built upon. A performance. Sebastian's actions and the way he holds him, the way he moves him, is a part of his role as a butler. That he's supposed to support and serve and elevate his master. But it's all done with a mask. There's no love behind it, or care behind it. Only manipulation to gain more trust and more control. Because that's the whole point. And then the juxtaposition. That's when Sullivan and Wolfram show up. They're also in a cage, but this one is visually different. The bars are spaced out further apart. There's more breathing room. And that alone already tells us something. Now they are looking at each other. There's a connection in their gaze. You can feel the emotion and warmth between them. The kind of love that's familial and deep-rooted in care. Sullivan and Wolfram's relationship is a direct mirror to CL and Sebastian's, but it's flipped. While CL dangles, detached, Sullivan stands upright. While CL avoids eye contact, Sullivan seeks it. Wolfram holds her not out of control, but out of the desire to protect her. And this contrast isn't just pretty framing, it's narrative storytelling. That the anime tells us, here's what real care looks like. And here's what manipulation looks like. These two scenes exist back to back on purpose. They serve as emotional mirrors. And they devastate when you look close. Because, well, while Sullivan has someone who generally loves and supports her, Ciel only has someone who mimics care to keep him under control. Now for the part that makes me sigh. The claim that this scene, and honestly the whole outro, is romantic. Let's be clear. It's not romantic. It's just tragedy and trauma. We're talking about a boy who sacrificed everything. His identity, his childhood, his humanity to climb out the dark. And how did he do that? He found a demon. He bounded himself in the contract to Sebastian because it was the only way out. It was the only way up. So when I see people spinning the visual narrative into a love story, I just feel cold when that happens because it's such a cruel disservice to Ciel, and not to mention the whole writing of Black Butler as a whole. This isn't a boy dancing with his lover. It's a boy trying not to fall apart under the weight of everything he has done and everything that has been done to him. Just the limpness in his body as he lets the other characters in the outro, his parents, his aunt, Joker, and Doll, and all the other circus troupe members before going to Sebastian. That's just his. It's supposed to represent his survivor's guilt. How numb he is. How he blames himself for what happens, trying not to fall apart, just under the weight of all of his hurt. And Sebastian, the supposed quote-unquote partner in his dance, is the only one who constantly drags him into further darkness, trying to convey that darkness as it bringing him up to the light. So let's just get into something brighter and talk about the fam for a bit, because they're just found family personified, to be honest. And this is beautiful. Their inclusion is so important, and it tells us this outro isn't about Ciel or Sebastian. It's about who Ciel is, or more accurately, who he has to be. He's Earl Phantomhive, and the people around him, his found family, his staff, his protectors, help him form that identity. They're not romantic interests, they're anchors. And we see him dance with them. Fluidity, he's not being held up, he's engaging in it. And it's all of the characters dance with him how you would dance with a child, with a little kid. Even we see Finny, and he's just they're doing the spinnies together, and it's just the wholesomeness. It's just it's so wholesome. And then when he dances with Sebastian, it's also not framed as romantic. It's that stifling dance where your parent is dancing with you and you can't really get it right, so it's just kind of stifled, if that makes sense. And then at the end it comes to a moment where Ciel is reaching for that glowing star. It's small and simple, but it's also kind of heartbreaking, because if you're a manga reader, those light up lantern stars basically just represents Ciel and just his trauma as a whole, but also in the way, in that trauma and hurt, it can be his light, because even if we know if he is reaching for it, we know he won't get to that happy ending, because Sebastian is always nearby. A shadow, a reminder, a necessary evil. Sebastian is not his savior. He is his power, but also his prison. It's the very same force that gives Ciel strength, and also the one that slowly strips him of his soul away. So, yeah. That's my whole analysis of the outro. That's the dance. It's not a fairy tale, it's not a romantic waltz. It's basically just, metaphorical breakdown of the contract, of the trauma, of manipulation, what it means to survive in a world where a demon wears the gloves and calls you my lord. It's tragic, it's brutal, and it's intentional. I'll delete that later. So just thank you for listening. If you want more essays, more breakdowns, just hear my thoughts more, or just scream about symbolism and like anime, just stick around, subscribe, and or check out the full Tumblr post, again, link below. And, well, if you like the art of the speed paint in the background, you can also check my Ko-Fi too, which is also linked in the description. And just overall, let's just keep talking about this stuff just as a community and as people who like Black Butler in general, because to me, I feel like the story just has so much more to offer that I see a lot of people just giving it such a disservice. So, yeah. I hope you like this. And I actually scripted this video this time, so just let me know if you like it or not. I tend to ramble a lot, so I tried scripting it to read my thoughts more clearly, so yeah.